Welcome to Lesson 2-3. Today we're going to talk rate of change and slope. Make sure you get these vocab terms written down before hitting play and continuing on. So we only have two vocab terms here. We've got rate of change, which is a ratio that compares how much one quantity changes on average relative to the change of another one. We also have slope, and that's the ratio of the change in the y-coordinates to the corresponding change in the x-coordinates. So for what we're doing it with it, slope and rate of change mean the exact same thing. First thing we're going to talk about is a constant rate of change. And a constant rate of change, if we were to graph it, it would be a linear line. It's always going to grow or decline at the same exact rate. So if we are asked to find the rate of change in a constant rate of change, we can use any 2 points that we want to. We can use this point and this one. And now we're going to do that. We're going to do change in temp over change in time. Okay, so our change in temp, we've got 118.4, and we're going to subtract from that 143.6. For our change in time, we go the same way, 12 minus 0. So 118.4 minus 143.6 gives us a negative 25.2. 12 minus 0 is 12. And if we divide that out, we get that it's about a negative 2.1. Go ahead and pause the video and find the constant rate of change with this graph. Notice how it's a straight line, and you've been given the points 3, 108, and 7, 252. And then hit play and see how you did. Okay, so we should have had 252 minus 108 on top, 7 minus 3 on bottom, giving us 144 over 4, which equals 36, and we're talking gallons per minute. Now we're going to talk average rate of change. So average rate of change, it's not going to be a straight line, but we're going to get 2 points that we're going to use to find just on average how much our slope or our rate of change is. So refer to the graph at the right, find the average rate of change of the percent of total music sales for both CDs and downloads. So CDs is up here, downloads is down here. Okay, so for CDs, you'll notice that I've got this first point here at 89.2. That's at 2001. And then 77.8 is down here at 2008. So y minus y over x minus x. Okay, so 77.8 minus 89.2. That gives us a negative 11.4. And on the bottom, 2008 minus 2001 is 7. Okay, so if I divide that out, I would get roughly negative 1.63. Do the same thing for downloads. You'll notice my y values are 12.8 and 0.2, and then I have the same x's because I'm using the same distance. So I'm going to get 12.6 on the top, and I'm still going to get 7 on the bottom. If I do that division, I get 1.8. Go ahead and pause the video and define the average rate of change for students at State College and Central University from 2002 to 2010 before hitting play and seeing how you did. So I did State College in green, so I would take 29,563 minus 23,142, and I divide that by 2010 minus 2002. Giving me an average rate of change of 802.625 applicants per year. For the second one, I've got 36,000 for the Central University in yellow, 36,107 minus 34,689 divided by 2010 minus 2002. I get 1418 over 8, which gives me an average rate of change of 177.25 applicants per year. Now we're going to talk the slope of a line. Slope, again, is the ratio of the change in y over the change in x. If we've got 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2, we find the slope by doing y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So to do this, we got a couple of problems here. First thing we have to do is we have to label one of them as x1, y1. Doesn't matter which one. And the other one is x2, y2. Okay, so to find our slope, we do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then we just plug in the values. I labeled 5 as my y2 and 3 as my y1, so it's going to be 5 minus 3 on the top. x2 is 2, x1 is a negative 4, so I'm going to have 2 minus a negative 4 on bottom. Now, 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 minus a negative 4, these negatives cancel each other out, and it's the same as 2 plus 4, which gives me 6, so I've got 2 over 6, which would simplify to a third. Same thing for the second one. I've got my x1, y1, my x2, y2, and you can flip these around, it doesn't really matter. But again, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then we just plug in what we know. 5 minus a negative 3 over 3 minus 1. Minusing a negative turns into adding a positive, so 5 plus 3 is 8. 3 minus 1 is 2. 8 over 2. My slope is 4. Go ahead and pause the video and find the slope of the line that goes through these 2 points before hitting play and moving on. Okay, so once we get all the way through, y2 minus y1, I did negative 9 minus 11, x2 minus x1, 24 minus a negative 8. Negative 9 minus 11 is negative 20. 24 minus a negative 8 is the same as 24 plus 8, which is 32. Negative 20 over 32, I can take a 4 out of both of those and get negative 5/8 for my slope. We can still find the slope when we're given a graph, because on the graph we can always find 2 points to use. So for this graph on the left, you'll notice that I've got a point here at negative 2, 0, and a point here at 0, negative 3, and I can use that to find my slope. So again, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Doesn't matter which way I go, so I'll go x1, y1, x2, y2. So I'd get negative 3 minus 0 over 0 minus a negative 2. Negative 3 minus 0 is negative 3. 0 minus a negative 2 is the same as 0 plus 2. So my slope is negative 3/2. Same thing on the next one here. I've got this point at negative 6, negative 1. And this point here at 6, 1. Again, slope y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And it doesn't matter which one, so x1, y1, x2, y2. So I get 1 minus a negative 1 over 6 minus a negative 6. In both of them, turns into adding positives. So I get 2 over 12, which simplifies down to a slope of 1/6. Go ahead and pause the video, find the slope of this line before hitting play to see how you did. Okay, so you should have found that the 2 points are at negative 1, 2 and 0, negative 2. Labeling the points as x1, y1, x2, and y2, finding the slope y2 minus y1, I had negative 2 minus 2. x2 minus x1 is 0 minus a negative 1. Negative 2 minus 2 is negative 4. 0 minus a negative 1 is just like 0 plus 1, so I get 1. Negative 4 over 1 is just negative 4. My slope is negative 4.